during the 60-minute presentation, we'll be providing you with an overview of the Gephardt Institute. So just in case you're not familiar with our work or what we do, we will do that overview. And then we're going to dive into some very program-specific information about the Beuerlein Fellows program. So you have a better idea about what the program is, what the next steps will be for you to complete an application with us if you're interested in applying to the program, what the key dates will be, and other really pertinent and helpful details. Sound good so far? And then I also want to take a chance to welcome, is it Milo or Milo?
Oh, it's Milo, thank you.
Milo, thank you, welcome. And so we invite you to, if you can, feel free to leave your cameras on. We promise we won't bite during today's presentation. We're all wonderful people here. But if you're not in a safe space, we do understand. So without further ado, I'm going to turn over the presentation to Ms. Stephanie Weeden-Smith, and she's going to share more with you about the Gephardt Institute.
So thanks so much, Genesis. I am really excited to be with you today to talk a little bit about our newest program at Gephardt Institute, Beuerlein Fellows. We're really excited to meet some new students that haven't been introduced to either one of our organizations and be able to do really good work in community. But for those that don't know so much about Gephardt Institute, I want to tell you a little bit about us and what we are all about. First of all, we are an institute on campus. When we get back on campus, we are in the 6th building. It's a very homey, welcoming building, and we will love to welcome you back into that space. And we really support, and our mission is to foster a vibrant culture of civic engagement throughout Washington University, realized by engaged citizens like yourselves, scholarship and partnerships that advance the collective good. Next. And 3 of our particular goals that are important for us to be thinking about, really guided by a lot of work that we did on our strategic plan, are educating students for a lifelong engaged citizenship. And so no matter what school that you're coming from, we really hope to give you some of the skills and some of the things to think about that will last you beyond your graduation. We also hope, and part of my role is really catalyzing partnerships that respond to community needs and priorities. So partnerships like that we have with the Alzheimer's Association are really, we're looking at and want to invite you in that discussion on what are some of the community needs and priorities, and what are ways that we as fellow community members can be able to really work towards impact on some of those things. And then finally, we really want to infuse civic engagement throughout the WashU experience. So, throughout your experience, throughout your coursework, throughout some of your student groups, throughout all of your introduction, and hopefully growing your love and affinity for St. Louis. We hope that we can be there with you and how we can infuse civic engagement in that process. So we, really, at this particular, it's so funny to have Eleanor Roosevelt. This is the first book I ever read was on her biography. And so I think a little bit about, why I got into this work and why it's so important, especially now in terms of our democracy and getting everyone's voice in this experience. I really, we hope that you can continue to gain strength and confidence in all of these experiences, and hopefully this will be one of them. To talk a little bit more about our partnership and the Alzheimer's Association, I'm going to give the floor to Sarah.
Thank you, Stephanie, and hello, good afternoon. I think we're at the Alzheimer's Association just really excited, I think, to forge this new program and this new path. We recognize A lot of things when it comes to Alzheimer's disease, but certainly that it's a major public health concern. You know, it has a significant impact on people who live with the disease. For every person living with the disease, there are about 3 caregivers that are supporting that individual. So a pretty broad impact, about 400 to 450,000 if you put those 2 groups together here in Missouri. We also know that it takes our community to really help lift the voice and give some visibility to the disease. And that's really where, you know, our work at the association and this work through the fellowship program really come together. And so we're looking to, you know, I think do all the good things right through civic engagement and the mentorship that's provided with the Gephardt Institute, and link that with our work to really dig deep into communities and mobilize those communities for the cause of Alzheimer's disease. I think we'll go ahead and bump to the next slide. Here we go. Yep. And so we kind of picked 3 areas of focus for this initial year of the fellowship. Again, like, excited that this is a new fellowship opportunity for students, but it also gives you the opportunity to help build it. And I think that's where, you know, there's some design. We have some general concepts, but they'll really be, this is really a critical foundational year for what will come in the following years when it comes to the Beuerlein Fellows program. And so we have 6 strategic pillars where we center our work around, and 3 of those are there on the screen for you. And we pulled out these 3 areas of work for our fellows that would come together for a specific reason. So our intent is to have 3 fellows come together. 1 would work in concern and awareness, which is our fancy way of saying marketing and communications. Another in care and support, which is really our community support programs that we offer with a variety of community partners. And then lastly, our work with public policy that is fueled by a large army of advocates that are helping to raise the issues of Alzheimer's disease in our state and federal, with our state and federal legislators. And so we really kind of picked those 3 buckets, I think, because they're very much so linked together. We really need to lift concern for Alzheimer's disease and create awareness of the association. We want to increase utilization of our community programs through our care and support services. And that public policy piece really helps to fill in the gaps and help to be sure that we are expanding access. And so I think one thing we haven't really mentioned yet is a big piece of this program is helping us to reach a broader and more diverse audience. So we know that there are places in St. Louis that access our programs very readily, and there are populations in St. Louis that have not found us as a resource yet. And I think we frequently will hear, if had I only known about the Alzheimer's Association and how they could help, you know, I would have had a better experience, or I could have felt less alone. And so we really want to close those gaps and be sure that we are an inclusive organization to our full community, and that we are helping to promote health equity, particularly as it comes to Alzheimer's and dementia. So we've got a couple of, on this slide here, just a few examples of activities that you might do sort of in each of these buckets. You know, but really it's kind of in the simplest form. And I see we've got a little edit to make on that slide in the future, but you know, to really help us to identify the landscape, right, in all areas. So who are we reaching? Who are we not reaching? Who is participating with us in advocacy? And for people who are active in advocacy, what is it that gets them excited? And what are those best practices? You know, what can we learn about already existing community assets that we can tap into and doing some community asset mapping? And really what, again, are those best practices and new areas around communications and marketing that maybe we haven't tapped into to reach a more diverse audience. So this first year will be a lot of discovery and defining our focal area and how these 3 places can come together to move mission forward, but then also creating that plan for expansion and engagement. And depending on how quickly that happens, we'll actually start implementing that plan. I'm going to punt it back to Stephanie to go over the nuts and bolts.
Yes, so we've learned a lot in terms of our different signature programs and ways to be able to provide the most insights on St. Louis and civic engagement, community engagement. And so what we have found that's going to be really helpful to move you forward is really having some real time with the organization. So this fellowship will be 8 months. And so you'll have some time at in spring, once you are named, to be able to do some part-time work with the Alzheimer's Association, some comprehensive orientation, both from Alzheimer's and from Gephardt Institute, really in preparation for working with those 3 pillars in the summer full time. Each of those 3 fellows will be working in concert, as Sarah mentioned, around equity and inclusion, but also be working on specific projects that when the summer ends, they'll be wrapping that up with some more part-time work with kind of some type of culminating or capstone project at the end of their fellowship. Each fellow will be given a $5,000 stipend. Again, they'll be working in those 3 pillars, and we will be thinking about them in their as their own cohort. So they'll be able to get a lot of peer supervision, get to hear what's going on in each of their different areas of expertise. And then they'll also be coming in and doing some workshops with Gephardt, learning more about St. Louis and hopefully growing that affinity for St. Louis and understanding really in terms of St. Louis, what are the unique challenges of the Alzheimer's Association in this region. Next one.
Sorry, guys.
So to tell you more about what the timeline is, applications became live on Monday, so really excited. So, hopefully this will give folks a lot of time to take a look at it and really plot out what they want to write and what they want to kind of show us in the committee as we get started. There's, again, the information session today, and there's also some drop-in hours and application help. That's all outlined on the website for you to take, if you want even some help in terms of writing your application with the Writing Center. All of that information is highlighted. Applications will be due March 5th. We would, encourage that folks not wait to the last minute to do that, but to really take the time and to really tell the story of why you are interested in doing some of this work. Right after that, we will have a chance to set up some interviews with folks that we feel that will be the kind of best fit for this particular fellowship and get to know you a little bit more. And we'll be making decisions by the end of March to get you right into your positions in April. And again, to reiterate some of these things, again, we are really looking for rising sophomores, juniors, and seniors, $5,000 stipend to support you in the summer and also to support our partner. And then again, that mid-April all the way through November, 8 months. And then all of our work is really based in St. Louis. We really find it important and to really highlight the work that's happening in St. Louis and to really introduce for students that haven't had the opportunity yet to really get to know what are some of the dynamics and what, I think would be really interesting to really understand a lot of the policy and advocacy around an organization like Alzheimer's in terms of how its relationship to St. Louis. Next. And so for those, and I know that Angela just came in, welcome Angela. Here is our emails if folks have other questions, other things, you know, you jump off of this, oh, I wanted to ask this, or I didn't think about this, please email us. We would love to be able to hear from you and to hear any insights that you have on whether or not you'd like to apply. And we hope that everyone applies. But we'll give also a chance right now for folks to, if you have any questions at this moment. And you can either, and I know if you want to put, oh yes, and make sure you do sign in for us so we know who's here and other folks that we can follow up with. But if there's any questions right now, we'd be more than happy to take them. Yes, thanks, Stuart. If there'll be any in person, it will all, you know, at this point, it will all be remote engagement. So I don't want to, you know, lead you astray, and I don't, you know, we all hope that vaccine and all of what we're doing is going to get us to a moment that it won't be remote. But in terms of all of your trainings and all of your, you know, meetings and all of that will be remote engagement.
Yeah, and I think Stephanie, is it right that and right, so the association is also all like our 100% of our staff is currently functioning virtually as well as all of our community education programs and committee meetings and things along those lines. So, you know, I think, you know, we would need to connect with Stephanie on if we were to go back in person into in-person engagement prior to Gephardt going back, like sort of what that would look like and what and how we're, you know, we may have staff come back, but not students and volunteers and things like that. So it'll be you can learn with us how we end a pandemic.
Yes, definitely. Any other questions or anything else that we can help you with right now? I just let Angela know we'll be uploading this to our website. If you are friends that are interested and didn't get a chance to join us today, so you can take a look and hopefully that can answer some of your questions. But Sarah and I are also open for you just to, you know, email us directly so that we can answer any special questions you may have about this program and about the process. We want to make it as easy as possible for you to connect and let's get going on a new program. Thank you so much, Genesis. So in the chat is also a link to our website and to the Beuerlein program. But again, if there's anything else, any other comments, anything else that folks need at this particular time, we're more than happy to stay on for any other specifics. But other than that, I'll give it back to Genesis if there's any other housekeeping things that we need to offer.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you both for the fabulous presentation today. And I guess in the era of being all things being equal, I'll spotlight myself because it's always kind of weird to see yourself just pop up on the screen. But just a couple of things before you guys leave today. Again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to join us. We really do appreciate you and really look forward to receiving your applications. The link that I shared with you in the chat is the link to not only our website, but also to our application process. We are actually using a common application this year, which is something new for some of our other signature programs and definitely new to the Beuerlein Fellows program. And so it's going to allow you to apply not just for the Beuerlein Fellows program, but for others if you're interested in applying to multiple programs. So the opportunities there. And if you click on the information sessions, specifically for the programs, you'll see that we're going to be updating the links shortly so that you can review our information session specifically. So that's where that information will be housed. Also, just as a reminder, we will be having additional information sessions. So definitely be sure to watch our website because we'll update that information. And then during February 16th, 17th, and 18th, we will be hosting drop-in sessions. And during the drop-in sessions, that's going to give you an opportunity to ask questions. So if you're in the process of finalizing your application and you'd like somebody to review your answers and get some feedback about structure, we are more than happy to do that. And you don't have to be there for the entire time. We run it over a course of a 3 or 4 hour period. so that you can take as much time you need to engage with our team and receive the support you need on your application, or just ask any other general questions that you may have about the program. And additionally, just to be mindful, Stephanie, can you share when the deadline is again for the Beuerlein Fellows application?
March 5th.
All right. And so we do adhere to the strict dates and timelines for when to submit the application. So if we see something coming in on March 6th, unfortunately, it's going to be really hard for us to entertain review of that application. So you really want to make sure that you get your applications in on time to be considered as a strong candidate for the fellowship. And I believe that may be all the information that I have for you today. But again, if you do have any other questions, please reach out to us. We love questions. We love to hear from you. Share the opportunity with others that you are attending class with that you think would be a really great opportunity for. And we look forward to seeing your applications soon. And thank you all for joining us today, and have a fabulous day.
Thank you.